Hello, my name is Matt and today I'm going to be discussing the iPhone 8, which I think is actually one of the least memorable iPhones ever made, with review titles such as iPhone 8 Skip This Great Phone. The iPhone 8 was released in 2017 alongside the iPhone 10, which was the redesigned 10th anniversary iPhone. It basically meant that the reviewers were saying, yes, the iPhone 8 is a very capable phone, but why buy it when you can buy the iPhone 10 with the redesign? Although the iPhone 8 was in the shadow of the iPhone 10, they actually have a lot of things in common. The main difference between the two phones is just the package that they come in. They actually share the same processor and RAM, so the performance is identical between the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 8. The iPhone 8 can be picked up on eBay for between £120 and £200, and in my opinion I think this is the best budget iPhone that you should buy. If you're looking to spend under £200 on an iPhone, I would say to buy the iPhone 8 over any other iPhone that's available on the market. I think I'd even go as far to say that the iPhone 8 is one of the best budget phones in general. I think it's one of the better phones in the £150 to £200 price point. My biggest iPhone 8 complaint is that it feels like a really incremental upgrade over the iPhone 7. However, I think it is a worthwhile upgrade, especially when you're buying a phone that's 3 or 4 years old. So within this video I'm going to give you all the information about how the iPhone 8 holds up in 2021 and just enable you to make an informed decision as to whether or not you want to go ahead and buy an iPhone 8 in 2021 and if this is the phone for you and whether or not it might suit your needs. So starting with design, this iPhone is nearly identical to the new iPhone SE released by Apple. This is actually good for future-proofing the iPhone 8, as it means developers will still be making apps and updating their apps for screen resolutions of this size. The front of the phone features a 4.7-inch screen with a resolution of 326 pixels per inch. This is the same screen resolution as the new iPhone SE, so it holds up really well and looks great. It gets plenty bright enough on sunny days and it really is a good screen. There are two large bezels at the top and the bottom of the display. However, the bottom bezel is the home to the Touch ID sensor, and Touch ID is just so much better than Face ID, so yeah, I think you really will be happy with Touch ID. The back of this iPhone is the biggest change from the previous years, as it has a glass back. This is a functional design choice as it enables the iPhone 8 to have wireless charging, which does feel very premium compared to previous iPhones. It's Qi wireless charging, so it's a universal standard. Pretty much any wireless charger you can find on the market will work with the iPhone 8. I personally prefer an aluminium back as it's one less surface that can smash, and I'm definitely the type of person to smash their phone. But it does feel premium in the hands, and I think I can guarantee that it will feel better than any other £150 phone that you can buy in 2021. Although it does have the ugly bezels, it definitely is a premium phone, especially for the price now. This iPhone does have a slight camera bump, but it isn't overly intrusive, and the bottom of the phone has no headphone port and a lightning port instead. This iPhone is also IP67 dust and water resistant, the same as the iPhone 7, meaning that it can be submerged to a depth of 1 meter for up to 1 hour. Moving on to performance. For a phone that's coming up to 4 years old, this iPhone holds up really well. The iPhone 8 is powered by the A11 chip and has 2GB of RAM. I personally daily use an iPhone 10, which is the exact same processor and RAM as the iPhone 8 and therefore has the same performance, and I've never found that the iPhone 10 or iPhone 8 is too slow for my needs. The iPhone 8 is capable at running pretty much any application on the iPhone store without any trouble, whether it be games such as PUBG or just general sort of applications and Facebook Messenger and stuff. This iPhone 8 will fly through them all. App loading time and multitasking is just really quick, as I'm kind of exempling now. None of these applications were preloaded or are open in the background. They're just opening up for the first time now, and they're still opening really quickly. You can definitely notice notice a bit more of a delay, and it's quite slow opening larger apps that are big games. So opening PUBG, for example, can take a while to load the game, or even 8-Ball Pool is a little bit longer than the other applications. But I really don't think it's a problem, and it definitely won't bother you in daily use when you're coming to use it. One really important consideration when buying an older iPhone is software support, and I personally think that the iPhone 8 is going to receive another 3 years of software support, kind of at least 3 more years, and I'm going to quickly explain why. Really good news the other day, the iPhone 6s was announced that it is going to receive iOS 15. It was very unlikely that it will receive iOS 16, but the iPhone 7 will probably receive iOS 16, and the iPhone 8 will probably receive iOS 17. And it's very possible that the iPhone 8 will receive more software support, especially since it's such a capable phone still in 2021, and Apple are still making phones with the same design. And I think another important thing to mention is that Apple are still selling the iPhone 10 directly from the Apple Store. Yes, it's within their certified refurbished section. I don't think that Apple is going to be selling an iPhone that they plan on discontinuing software support for anytime soon. So moving on to camera. The camera on the iPhone 8 is really good, but it's also one of my biggest complaints for the iPhone 8. The iPhone 8 camera is only a very minor step up from the iPhone 7. It is by no means a bad camera, but it definitely is a very small incremental upgrade from the previous generation. And it's a shame because the iPhone XS and the iPhone XR have such a considerable upgrade over the iPhone 8. So if you really just want a fantastic camera, it might be worth spending a little bit more money and buying an XS or an XR. I'll have videos on both of those phones in the near future, so please do subscribe if you're interested. The iPhone 8 has a 12 megapixel main camera that can take some great photos. The colours and HDR is not as good as newer iPhones, but I think you'll find it tough to find a phone for £150 with a better camera than this. In bright lighting conditions, the camera is able to take some awesome photos that will capture your memories appropriately. In harder conditions, such as low light, then the limitations of the camera become more evident. This was the best camera you could buy on a phone, so 4 years later it still remains very capable. The main shooter is also capable of recording 4K video at 60 frames per second, which is literally better than the camera that I'm using to record this video right now. I genuinely think if you have an iPhone 8 on a tripod or against the wall, the video quality is more than good enough to use for making YouTube videos or vlogging or just generally like documenting your life and your memories. It can also shoot 1080p video at 240 frames per second. The front camera is a 7 megapixel camera, which is more than good enough for selfies. It struggles if you're using it in low light, such as during a drunken night out or something like that, but the front facing camera is pretty decent. It's good enough for selfies and FaceTime. It's also able to shoot 1080p video on the front facing camera, which again, it looks pretty decent for just a small front facing convenient camera that you got there, and yeah, it holds up well. So moving on to battery, the A11 chip has considerable efficiency improvements over the A10 chip powering the iPhone 7. So I think you'll find that the battery life is quite comfortable with an iPhone 8. It's definitely good enough to get you through an entire day. But as I always mention, if you're buying a used iPhone, it's very likely that the battery will have degraded, and it's definitely worth spending a little bit of money on buying a new battery, or buying one of the battery cases on eBay secondhand that Apple used to sell. These are quite cheap now and will definitely give you a lot more battery life for your iPhone 8. So to conclude, I genuinely do think that the iPhone 8 is one of, if not the best budget phone that you can buy in 2021. So this is a super fast phone, and with the introduction of the new iPhone SE, it kind of future-proofs this outdated design and means that iOS developers will still be making applications for this screen size and resolution for many years to come. The A11 chip holds up really well, and this phone is more than capable of running any app or game in the App Store, and I play PUBG on this phone quite a lot, and yeah, it gets a little bit warm, but it never has any performance issues playing these games. I genuinely don't think you'll be disappointed if you're buying an iPhone 8, especially if you're upgrading from something considerably older like an iPhone 6 or even an iPhone 6s. The iPhone 8 will be a significant upgrade. I think the biggest limitation of the iPhone 8 is that it's such a small upgrade from the iPhone 7. I wouldn't recommend buying the iPhone 8 if you are an iPhone 7 user. It has a very similar design. The camera isn't a huge improvement over the iPhone 7, but where it does shine is the fact that the processor is a year newer and considerably improved, meaning that it is likely to receive at least one more year's worth of software support. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I think this could be quite a long video, so I apologise. Thank you for watching it the whole way through if you have. I hope this was informative. If you are interested in watching other sort of tech videos, seeing how tech holds up, please do subscribe. I'm getting closer to 1,000 subscribers and I would really love to get to 1,000 subscribers soon. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. I uploaded a video recently of tips when buying used iPhones, just sort of things to look out for to reduce the likelihood of you being scammed. So if you're interested in that, that can be found as well on my channel. Thanks again, bye bye.